Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the four of you for offering just an incredibly powerful, compelling testimony that I think everyone should hear. Mr. Chairman, Chairman Thune, and Chairman Moran, thank you for calling this hearing. I'm not a member of this subcommittee, but this is definitely something that has hitting the people of the state of Michigan, which I'm blessed to represent here in the Senate, quite hard, from the monstrous actions of Larry Nassar, which are absolutely horrifying. And the more facts that come out, the more stories that come out, the more horrifying it is. And so it's important that we address this so it never happens again. And I can speak as a Michigan State alum. This has hit Michigan State alumni particularly hard. I hear it in Michigan every day as I travel around the country. Alumni come up to me and they are wonder, like, how could this happen? You know, how could this happen at our university? And then the next question or the next statement they will make is that we have to do everything possible to make sure this never happens again, not just at Michigan State University, but at other places across the country as well. But then the second, right after that, is that they also say, and I want to be sure you know that they all say we have to make sure that the university stands behind the victims, that the university has an obligation to be there for you, to be there to also assist in the healing process, which will likely take a long time. And we want to make sure that we have your back as well here in the United States Senate. So the first question I have for Ms. Weber is, what is your assessment of how Michigan State University has handled this situation?
I think that they've handled it very poorly, honestly. I mean, it's all over the media. There's been so many instances where survivors will go to the board meetings and try to encourage them to listen, and they've just been turned away and not listened to and denied and offered settlements and just ridiculous things like that. I think they're still refusing to admit what the problem really is and that they're accountable for it. And I feel like that's what's missing, is they're not accepting accountability. They don't really think that they were responsible for Larry Nassar doing what he did. But in the end, even when we were in London at the Olympics, he was employed by Michigan State University, even as the Olympic doctor.
Mm-hmm. There's a new interim president at Michigan State University now. How would you assess his handling of the situation?
I would say he's almost trying to fight the survivors versus working with us. I think that would be my assessment.
Has he reached out to you in any way?
No.
Do you know if he's reached out to other victims in a meaningful way?
I don't know.
Yeah. Ms. Danchester, you also mentioned Michigan State University. Do you have an assessment of how you believe that they've handled the situation?
I would have to agree with Jordan, and that's pretty much it. I mean, either, when they had reports and complaints and allegations of Larry Nassar, and they never told USAG, and vice versa, and I think hundreds of victims were molested even after complaints were made. So.
Mm-hmm. Ms. Weber, we're going to have, or at least we've requested, Mr. Chairman, you've requested Michigan State University, I believe, to appear.
I'll try to make that clear. We have set a date, May the 22nd, for an additional hearing. My intention is to have Michigan State, the U.S. Olympic Committee, and USAG invited. They have not yet been invited. They've only been notified of the date, sort of a save the date request.
Very good. Well, I appreciate that. Appreciate reaching out, and it's going to be important to have all of them here, obviously, because we have to make sure that it doesn't happen again. And I think I'm certainly going to take to heart the incredible testimony that I've received from all four of you. But I guess I'm curious when they are before us, and I intend to be back when they're here before us in this subcommittee. What question would you like to have them answer? If you had one question. And whoever would like to start, but I would like to hear from all four of you as you're thinking about that.
When I think back, excuse me, when I think back to my particular situation, there is just no way that dozens, if not hundreds of people in and around the ice rinks didn't know what was going on. It was, I look back on it, it was obvious. I mean, 5-hour meetings in the office with a, 15-year-old boy, that's ridiculous. My question would be, how do you live with yourself? How are you able to be so weak within yourself to not be able to stand up simply because somebody's going to look at you wrong? Somebody's going to not maybe like you as much. How are you able to sleep at night? That'd be my question.
Thank you. If anyone else would like to, you don't have to, but anyone else?
I think my question would be, why still is reputation of the university and money more important than the lives of hundreds of girls and women who are abused under their responsibility?
Thank you.
I think you should take our names out and take our pictures out and put their kids in and see if it makes a difference. And the idea that they are worried about people looking at them poorly by speaking up and doing the wrong thing, maybe a few individuals at the time, well, let them know that there's thousands of people looking at them like they should be for missing the opportunity. I mean, my incident as well started in Northern Michigan University, and the police knew, and it should have never happened. Police knew, and it should have never happened. Like, there's just no other explanation.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate your testimony.